Is one of the most difficult mountains to climb in North America. It's another day of soaring temperatures in interior British Columbia. Yesterday, Lytton reached 30s. The sizzling temperatures might be great news for the outdoor enthusiast, but the weather is making fire crews nervous. Sunflowers need lots of sun to thrive, so you might wonder how they survive in a rainy climate like Vancouver's. Oganabosi has that story. And fallen in Nova Scotia's Lunenburg County. But authorities say it's still not safe enough for seven family people in southern and southwestern Ontario are only seeing pockets of summer-like weather. Yesterday, thunderstorms rumbled through the London region. People there this half hour. Stay tuned for your locals. And if you see active weather, give our storm line a call, 1-800-463-WIN. In New Brunswick, as well as hundreds of local crews, have joined in a gigantic effort to fight more than 70 forest fires burning across the province. One blaze is burning dangerously close to the mining town of Chibougamau in north-central Quebec. Authorities have already ordered about 50 people outside of the town to leave their homes as a precaution. Unfortunately, the weather is not helping fire crews as dry, warm, and windy conditions are persisting. Thankfully, the wind is not blowing the fire towards the town. With the onset of warmer weather, beaches across the country are beginning to bustle with activity. So it's important for officials to constantly test water for contaminants, especially after it rains. Wab Rice has the details. They're finally arriving in some parts of the country. People are taking to area lakes. Marine authorities would like to remind people of the importance of preparing their boat for a summer of enjoyment. The Toronto Police Marine Unit has a few tips to keep in mind before you hit the open water. Give our storm line a call, 1-800-463-9463, because portions of southern and northern Alberta are under a tornado watch. Stay tuned. Cloud was seen about 12 kilometers south of Picture Butte, Alberta this morning. The funnel retreated back. The funnel clouds are as a result of large cumulus clouds or weak thunderstorms moving across the region. There is the possibility for more to form this afternoon. Now, firefighters in Quebec are getting help to fight the more than 5 dozen forest fires burning in northern Quebec. Crews from 4 provinces has been issued for southern Ontario. People can expect elevated air pollution for the rest of the afternoon. But this morning, the air quality rating was at moderate in Toronto. That had cyclists, and this year's weather is here. Many of us are starting to spend more time outdoors. Putting on sunscreen has become a regular routine for most people before they head outdoors. But some of them may be forgetting to protect one of the most important parts, their lips. Oganabosi has the story. The government of Japan has come up with a new way to reduce the dependence on air conditioners in the country this summer. Cool Biz is the new program. News for this half hour. Stay tuned for your locals. Of course, they're every 10 minutes on the 10s. And if you see active weather, give our storm line a call, 1-800-463-9463. Scorcher in eastern Canada. A high heat and humidity warning is in effect for southern Quebec. Factor in the humidity, and it felt like 40 degrees in Montreal this afternoon. In Ontario, cloud cover is providing some protection from the extreme heat. However, a smog warning remains in effect for many areas. People with breathing problems are being advised to stay indoors and to avoid strenuous activities. A lot of people living near the Great Lakes are. Depression Arlene is losing steam. The storm made landfall yesterday afternoon on the Gulf Coast of Florida, packing 100-kilometer-an-hour winds. 4,000 people lost the next 24 hours. Heavy rain is expected in southern and eastern Ontario tomorrow evening. Hurricane season runs until November 30th. Well, once a year, Canadians are honored for their efforts to protect the environment. The Weather Network's Wab Rice was at a recent Canadian Environment Awards and filed this report. Suzuki. Stay tuned. Of course, your locals are coming up in just a few moments. We'll be right back. Do stay tuned. The city of Calgary has declared its first ever state of emergency. Heavy rains have put river levels meters above their normal depths. The city's 2 main waterways, the Bow and Elbow rivers, are flowing higher than they ever have in recorded history. Normally, the Bow River runs at about 100 cubic meters per second. Currently, the river is up to 2,000 cubic meters per second. In the last 24 hours, the Elbow River has risen 3 meters and is flowing over the top of Glenmore Dam. About 1,500 people in low-lying areas have been forced out of their homes. Basements in southwest of Calgary are flooded and sewers are backed up. The situation is much the same for smaller towns outside the city. A dam breach threatened the hamlet of Pritis. South were allowed back into their homes again yesterday afternoon after more flooding forced them out Friday evening. The second flooding evacuation in a week for the small town. The good news is there isn't any more rain in the forecast for Alberta. However, that doesn't mean residents can breathe a sigh of relief.